Well, hello everybody, this is Mr. Lee David Carter, and here I am in Cornwall. I'm in a restaurant called The Good Catch, and I'm in Morgan Porth now in Cornwall. As you can see now, I'm having a nice latte, and I'm going to order some seafood basically. So I'm going to talk about the first book, Living with Lisa, and basically the continuation of the story to Transmangelic. I want to talk about Living with Lisa first. This is the very beginning of the story, and it talks about the struggles I had with gender identity as a small child and over the last 40 years, and where I led a tumultuous family history life basically, and it's giving insight into gender identity issues in the first book regarding this, so this being gender dysphoria. So it's about me bringing it to the forefront and educating people as to what part of the world we belong, so people, or should I say society, is better educated in what it is I need to talk about. And so there's more understanding, more empathy, and obviously showing awareness about it all with regards to inclusion, diversity and equality and so forth. You know, me being a fierce voice here and an advocate to speak out and to bring positive change into the world basically with all of these things, just what part of the world we belong. So when you look at the transnmac spectrum, it's about not only the insight into gender identity issues, but also, since I'm into all things spiritual and I'm very open to it, which is in the first book, Living with Lisa, it's into how the spirit world works and how the spirit world can enter your life in the most unexpected ways. Suffering for 40 years of a gender identity crisis and then going through a tumultuous family life as well. I mean, all of these things put together. So it's about how all of our suffering can one day make sense. And, you know, we're all here on a learning journey, and I see the world as a learning school, basically. So, and it's all about all of our experiences of being of some value somehow to the soul. So this is in the first book, Living with Lisa. And it talks about me, you know, having the angels enter my life and reclaiming bonds with my parents, where most people would have probably turned away and run, and probably never look back. And you know, it's a fascinating story. It's an autobiography, and it's not just about going female to male. It's not just that transition part. It's basically the impact of spiritual intervention coming into the story as well, and all the extraordinary events and my connection with the spirit world and the angels and being very open to it. So, you know, I'm gifted. So what it is I've got to give to the world now is a gift. And I want to be able to share that journey and those experiences and share it with the world and help people. So it's not just about a child growing up that's not only suppressed with gender dysphoria and 40 years of a gender identity crisis that I went through. It's basically the invisible part of my parents not being there, and facing battles of trauma, sexual abuse, abandonment, being starved of love, rejection. So there's no more sugarcoating regarding the first book. So it talks about the road to recovery basically, and it's intertwined with spirit and the gender identity part, and how spiritual intervention can heal and come into your life basically. You know, that inner child that's in all of us, and you know, with the right tools and techniques, through meditation, you can, should I say, by handing it over to the divine, you can heal from this. And it's all about, you know, being open and gifted, and again, having the right tools and techniques. You know, there's a secret to the universe, and once you know that, you can heal yourself and just get on that road to recovery and be who you are. So all the experiences, the paranormal events and the awakening, and 40 years of being in a dark place, from Lisa to Lee transition, should I say, and then, like, although there was still a way to go, you know, 10 years ago I received messages from the angels of the divine spirit world that there was a part inside of me, the spiritual part, that needed to heal. Couldn't quite see it at the time, there's so much that's been suppressed over the years, you know, that I now realise that it's the memories that are inside us that need to be healed. It's very damaging, and what's been suppressed inside, that inner battle that I've had to go through inside of me. When I look at the patterns in my life, I simply needed to clean up spiritually regarding the abuse and the trauma part, you know, from my childhood growing up. So those memories, you know, when handing it over to the divine, you can clean it up, basically, spiritually, through meditation, and being connected to the spirit and handing over to the divine and to God, and things like that. You can do that. So yeah, so that's the first book, Living with Lisa, and that's the first part of the journey. The second book, Transmangelic, we'll do that on part 2, because that's a continuation of the story, and that's where basically I'm going to be talking about the abuse and trauma and what it is I needed to do regarding the road to recovery. So that's the second book, and that we're talking about the battles that I've needed to face and what it is I've needed to do to recover from that, and it's a gift, and it's just come here to inspire and help many people. So I'm going to sign off, and I'll come on to part 2 in just a bit, and I'll be filming that in go for a walk in Cornwall after I come out of the restaurant, and do part 2, and that'll be Transmangelic, to the second part of this amazing story, which is fantastic. It's been an amazing journey. So I'll speak to you all soon. Sign out for now. This is Mr. Lee David Carter regarding Lisa, Living with Lisa, and then we're going to be talking about the second book due to be released, Transmangelic, second part to this story. So I'll sign out, speak to you soon, and say namaste and love and light. Speak to you soon.